So coming out of SummerSlam, we had the return of the original John Cena, the original babyface 20 plus year version of John Cena that we've all sort of been accustomed to. And tonight, contrary to my beliefs and contrary to a lot of people's beliefs, there was no Brock Lesnar. I would have, thought that Brock would make an appearance here, given the fact that he is from Canada, or at the very least, he's living in Canada. But we got no Brock Lesnar appearance. We did get some mentions here and there during the opening promo by Cena. But we now know who John Cena is going to be facing at Clash in Paris. So like I said earlier in the show, to kick off the show, John Cena came out there and, really kind of got a massive reaction, massive ovation by this Montreal crowd. Put the crowd over as far as being, a rowdy, boisterous crowd here, and the fact that WWE, they almost avoided Montreal for a long time given the history there, but now he realizes that the fans are the entire show. Eventually this gets interrupted by Logan Paul. Logan Paul comes out there and calls John Cena essentially disingenuous, calls him fake, says that he switched up on this entire crowd at the beginning of the year, but now he's all doing this charity case. And then after a while he gets attacked, John Cena does, by Drew McIntyre. So Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul are continuing their sort of tag team from this past weekend, and of course Cody Rhodes comes out there and makes the save, and we get this match officially made for the main event angle tag team match here between Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre against John Cena and Cody Rhodes. And before that, I should mention as well, John Cena accepted the challenge of Logan Paul for Clash in Paris. So it's going to be Logan Paul against John Cena at Clash in Paris in France. Now, I would have suspected, a potential Brock Lesnar match at Paris, simply for the fact of, it's recent, it just happened. Might as well just get that match out of the way and have that match officially happen, and then we can move on to the McIntyres and the Gunthers for the end of the year. But they insisted on doing Logan Paul against John Cena at Clash in Paris, and they're probably going to make that Brock Lesnar John Cena match at Crown Jewel. I can see why people would be upset about Logan Paul once again being in this retirement tour. But to me, I kind of have no issue with it, because Logan Paul against John Cena, I suspect, is going to be a pretty good match. Obviously, we know what Logan Paul is capable of in the ring, and I kind of figured they would probably pair him up with Cena, because when they originally tried to get some heat on Cena, they paired him up with Logan Paul, because Logan Paul is probably the most natural, organic heel that they have on that roster. And now that he's a babyface, who do they pair him up against? Logan Paul. Why? So they can get cheers on John Cena, obviously, to cement this face turn once and for all. So who do you have him up against? The biggest asshole on the entire roster, Logan Paul. So I kind of have no issue with it. We also got a unofficial confirmation for what may be the potential sort of direction that this company goes towards as far as Cody Rhodes, because like I mentioned before, Cody Rhodes beat John Cena this past weekend at SummerSlam to regain the WWE Championship. And sort of what I was hoping was either we get a Randy Orton spot, sort of a rivalry between Randy and Cody, or we get the next best thing, which is Drew McIntyre. I'm kind of surprised that they kind of have done this and are hinting at this so quick in the game, because I would have either suspected Drew McIntyre or Randy Orton to dethrone Cody. That still may happen, but I think at this point, Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, I think that just fits, because obviously Cody, biggest babyface in the company, Drew, probably one of the biggest heels right now in that company. Kind of gives me sort of Cody and KO vibes from last year, at the end of last year, how those two guys were kind of sort of connected with each other. I don't know if we get that match in Paris or somewhere else down the road, but I'm here for it. So for me, I really enjoyed the beginning of the show and the end of the show. The middle of the show is kind of something else that we should kind of just skim through here. We had MFTs again, once again. I think they faced Motor City Machine Guns here. They got the win. And then Solo Sikoa calls out sort of an open challenge for anybody who's in the backstage area, but then decides, nobody's here, I'm just gonna go home. And then eventually Nick Aldis comes out here and brings out sort of a surprise for the entire Montreal crowd. Again, before Nick Aldis even said this, I kind of figured maybe Sami Zayn, and of course Sami Zayn came out here and got the win over Solo Sikoa. I dead ass thought this was for the United States Championship. I kind of figured, why would Sammy come all the way to SmackDown if this isn't for the US title? But I guess just, good faith at this point. I don't even know. Brand split at this point, does it even matter? We also had Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Here they had a birthday celebration for Alexa Bliss, in which Charlotte Flair gave these sort of passive aggressive gifts to Alexa Bliss. She gave her a couple of dolls, a Lily doll, a cake that said congratulations Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, sort of in tiny writing. And then we get an impromptu match between Chelsea Green and Charlotte Flair, because Chelsea Green interrupted Charlotte Flair. And then we have Charlotte Flair deliver an unpretty her to Chelsea Green onto the cake. Kind of bare bones stuff here, just to further the whole partnership between Alexa and Charlotte. But just to give you my closing thoughts here as far as the whole John Cena Logan Paul situation, you're gonna see John Cena against Logan Paul at Clash in Paris. I think you'll probably see Brock Lesnar interfere in that match, and maybe give Paul the win. Who knows? Furthering the tensions between Lesnar and Cena. And as far as Drew and Cody goes, I think you may see that as well at Clash in Paris. Maybe they end up having a trilogy of some sorts. But that's sort of my predictions for what I see going down at Clash in Paris. Let me know what your thoughts are. As far as this whole episode of SmackDown goes, as far as Clash in Paris, what are your thoughts as well as that? Let me know down in the comments, and I will see all of you on the next one.